Good morning, Madam Registrar.
Good morning, Mrs. Registrar.
Good morning. Thank you very much for joining in early. It's good to see everyone join ahead of time. So at the last hearing, sorry, first of all, can everyone hear me now?
Yes.
All clear.
Okay, sorry, I've had to disconnect my device. And I've taken the camera off so I can review the documents as well. But I was saying that thank you very much for joining in early. Mr. Hussain, thank you for taking note of that from last time. I'll get the court associate to read out the list and then we can get started. Thank you.
Thank you. The CMC is in the matter of CFI 087-2021 before Registrar Nour Hineidi and is being held by way of video conference. Any orders or directions made after or during the course of this hearing will be issued by the registry in Dubai. The claimant is represented by Mahmoud Hussain Advocates and Legal Consultants. Lead counsel is Mahmoud Hussain. The defendant is represented by BSA Ahmed bin Hazim and Associates. Lead counsel is Antonius Dimitropoulos.
Thank you. Mr. Hussain, would you mind giving us an update, please, as to the discussions that you had with your experts and your clients? Has an agreement been reached on the procedural timetable?
Yes, actually, good news is that actually with the collaborative of Mr. Dimitropoulos, actually we reached to the agreement. We reduced the time, and because my issue was with my experts and they didn't want to have a summer and during the summer. So basically we extended a little bit. So the hearing come now to 31st of October. So we tried to push it and he was very collaborative. We sent him an email. He replied back to me yesterday. He approved the new timetable.
Fantastic. That's great to hear. Thank you very much for both of your efforts. So this means, I mean, that now means essentially that we've got two tasks ahead of us today, which is to navigate the list of issues. Is the list of issues agreed or is it not agreed?
It is agreed, actually.
It's agreed. Fantastic. So that brings us down to one item, which is to finalize the procedural timetable. Given that that's agreed as well, all I need to do is see a draft of it. So I think that the defendant had produced a draft at the last hearing, and that's the draft that should now be shown to the court and finalized. There was only one comment I had to make about the draft. Mr. Dimitropoulos, can you hear me clearly?
I can hear you clearly, but I'm trying to understand which draft you're referring to, because the agreed one is already uploaded on Caseline.
Okay, was that the one that was uploaded 2 days ago? Because that was not agreed, as we said, a couple of days ago, but now it's
15th of March, I think yesterday.
That's right, yes. So that's the one that I'm referring to.
Ah, right.
Okay.
Yes. What I was referring, what I was mentioning earlier is I'm happy with the contents of the agreed order, which was not agreed 2 days ago, but is now agreed, save for the exchange of skeletons. So we've had basically two ways of approaching skeletons. My preferred way is that we exchange skeletons simultaneously, and we do so 5 days before the hearing. So a simultaneous exchange means obviously that you exchange it at the same time. So Mr. Hussain, you would send your skeleton to the defendant and vice versa.
Yes.
The reason we would do it that way and not allow the claimant to first send its skeleton in, followed by the defendant in reply a few days later, is because really the skeleton shouldn't be including any new submissions or evidence. It should just be a summary of all of the submissions to be made during the course of the hearing. So are the parties open to changing that so that we've got a simultaneous exchange, or is there good reason for allowing the claimant to first send through its skeleton followed by the defendant?
From my perspective, Mr. Registrar, if you allow me, actually, I think it's a good idea, and I have done it a lot in arbitration. So it's more efficient and it's better as well. It does not encourage the party to bring new evidence or new facts. So basically, I prefer it's a good, and 5 days is a reasonable time.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mr. Hussain. Mr. Dimitrakopoulos, what are your thoughts on that?
Yes, Madam Registrar, I think you're absolutely right. I think as a matter of principle, if there is a lag between the claimant's skeleton and the defendant's, then the defendant has an opportunity to submit a kind of responsive pleading, which shouldn't be a pleading really. It should be a summary of his position up to date. So yes, contemporaneous exchange would be the right thing to do.
Fantastic. Besides that, is there, just very finally, typically e-bundles are also uploaded onto the, I'll put the camera back on, hopefully now that we don't need to refer to documents, that will be helpful. Okay, so with the exchange of e-bundles, we typically also do that at the time the skeletons are exchanged. Now, if the parties prefer, I can give you 1 extra day. So that would give the judge 4 days to then review the bundle ahead of the trial. Otherwise, the customary position is that skeletons and e-bundles are set at the same time. So what is your preference on that, Mr. Hussain?
It's okay with us.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, thank you. Mr. Dimitrakopoulos?
Yes, likewise. I think the vast majority of what would be part of the bundle has already been uploaded, so there shouldn't be much to top it up with. So yes, I think that's perfectly fine.
That's precisely right. Okay, fantastic. Any other outstanding issues or directions that the parties seek in the next few weeks, or issues that you can see that might unfold that you might need some directions on?
From my side, Mrs. Registrar, there were no any point, and I wanted to thank my colleague, Mr. Dimitrakopoulos. He has been very collaborative and very supportive. Thank you very much, Mr. Dimitrakopoulos.
Pleasure. Nothing from my side, Madam Registrar.
Wonderful. It's really very refreshing to see parties and counsel collaborate in this way. So thank you very much from the court, and I hope to see this, you know, the procedural timetable move according to schedule, you know, and as quickly as possible. One last thing is, would the parties mind please just updating the terms of the CMC order to take into account the skeleton, so that they're exchanged 5 days, simultaneously exchanged 5 days ahead of the hearing with the e-bundle, and then I will seal that and we're good to go. And we found a judge for the hearing. Actually, that was the previous date. So now that the new dates have been, I think we were referring to the initial order that was filed, but now that the new dates have been introduced, I just need to make sure he's still available, but we won't have an issue because we've got plenty of judges. Thank you very much and have a lovely day.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.